When you investigate haunted places, expect to be followed home. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit, So That's Scary claims a spirit from a ghost ship followed them home. Originally published to YouTube by SDK Paranormal in September of 2020, the YouTuber explains, there is a lot of strange things happening outside, which we really do think is directly related to a spirit named George that followed us home from an investigation. So what happened? Robert explains in the video that ever since the team investigated the USS Edson, they've been encountering the spirit of George. The security footage shows a shadow appearing to knock on their door. According to Robert, they heard 3 knocks inside as this occurred. The spirit threw rocks, appeared as orbs in their photos, and spoke to them via EVP. This is when they set up security cameras and caught this on video. George shows up in the form of bright orbs, invariably a black shadow orb, which seemingly causes a chair to move. Next, the kickstand on the bike goes up of its own accord. The spirit is wild, but perhaps he just wants to be friends. On the other hand, he's throwing rocks. Who knows what he wants? This infrared video from 2008, taken by a ghost hunting squad in South Dakota called the SPCTR, details paranormal evidence at an abandoned house haunted by the spirit of a child. A mysterious figure peers around the corner at the end of the dark hallway. A ghost if you ask the SPCTR team, but I'm not so sure. The figure doesn't seem very tall and has shoulder-length hair if you look closely at 18 seconds, so maybe this was a little ghost girl in the hallway after all. If this is fake, then one of the paranormal investigators is crouched down to make themselves look like a kid. Tell me if you think this paranormal evidence is legit, or if this was a made-up sighting from the early days of YouTube. A remote shanty house in the middle of nowhere. It's gotta be abandoned, right? Posted to r/ghosts by Livid Excuse 1640. This video reminds every paranormal explorer to be always on their guard. The Redditor is driving down a dirt road at night in what appears to be the boonies with no lights around apart from a faint, distant glow, and yet in the middle of nowhere they come upon a rundown white house. It's dark and clearly abandoned, or so you think, as the Redditor drives slowly past, shining a flashlight onto the house. He spotlights its empty and broken windows, nothing else, that is, until he zooms in on a center window. Here appears a white hooded figure without discernible features. The realization of what they're seeing scares them enough to drop their camera and drive away, while many Redditors in the comments believe the figure is a squatter, rather than a ghost. This sighting at an assumedly abandoned house would be unsettling regardless. The Redditor writes in the comments, I've been in the house once and it's like the people living there just up and left clothes in closets, dishes in the sink, toys on the floor. It was wild. I got halfway down the hallway and something that felt like pure evil came over me and I ran back out. He also shares some still photos with varying exposures that he took from the clip. What do you see in the Rorschach ink blot? This is only a test. This scary Randonautica is brought to you by YouTuber CJ Faison. While in Las Vegas, CJ ventured out to the random location he was sent to by the app. The Randonautica takes CJ and his crew into the middle of the desert, where they discover a photo of CJ taken with some female fans at the Mirage Hotel from 2014.
I'm literally shaking. I have chills up and down my body.
We've got nothing all day long.
Look at that.
We've been struggling. What was that?
Yo! That's a picture of me!
Yeah.
CJ says that one of the girls in the photo is named Julia. Alongside the photo is a note that includes CJ's full name and some other personal information.
The dark-haired girl in the middle, I met her in 2000, and I believe it was 2013, when I was racing in NASCAR at Richmond International Speedway.
Nearby, they also discover a wallet with some random stuff in it, including a room key for the Luxor, which is where CJ is staying.
Makes sense because we're in Vegas. There's another Luxor room key.
Oh, dude. I'm staying at the f***ing Luxor.
As they ponder this mystery in the desert, a couple of cars pass by and a girl shouts out at them, Randonautica video boys, come on. Is it Julia? A YouTuber recalls another video that CJ shot where he's reading texts about him from Aaron Valentino. The YouTuber notes that these texts mention the year 2014.
Very well that you have stumbled upon this phone. I know many things about you. I know that you wish you could change some things that happened to your life in 2014.
The same year listed on Julia's picture, as well as the quote that CJ read on the back of the photograph. The quote was, "The ones who aren't afraid control life itself," which is a quote from infamous Richard Ramirez, aka the Night Stalker. Yikes. Later, the crew notices something off in the distance watching them.
Hold on, give me a sec. Let me zoom out first. It's right there.
Oh.
Person, can you record that for the video?
Did someone plant this stuff here? Is that someone watching the group across several Randonauticas from Pocomoke Forest in Maryland to the desert outside of Las Vegas, Nevada? Several YouTubers in the comments think this crew is being tracked or their phones have been hacked into. Perhaps these Randonauticas aren't so random after all. Downright Dives is a three-man team of dumpster divers who go through the trash looking for discarded valuables. They comb through a series of dumpsters without incident, mostly coming across old rotten food. They're searching through the last couple of dumpsters when one of them makes a startling discovery.
No. It's moved in there, guys. Guys. It's moved in there. I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking.
Neither of his two friends believe that there could have been somebody lying at the bottom of the dumpster. They just have to take a closer look for themselves.
That box right there just moved. I'm not even joking. That one. Oh, no. Go.
The camera doesn't get a clean shot, but you can hear a man pop up from underneath the boxes and screams that he owns everything inside of the dumpster. According to the description, it was a homeless man who continued to come after them and even got into a physical altercation off camera. I'm on the fence with this one since we never get a chance to see the homeless person in question. Also, living in a dumpster is a stereotype about homeless people that is rarely true, so this encounter is very unlikely. Let me know if you agree. A Russian YouTuber named Fikfos decides to feed a bear a late night fish snack through his window. There's only one problem. Supplies are limited, and the bear seems to want to help itself to everything at once. Multiple times it has to be reminded to mind its manners, and at 24 seconds you can see for yourself that I'm not exaggerating when I say its paw is the size of your head, with long black claws the size of your whole finger. Feeding time becomes less fun when you realize the only way to close this window is by reaching out into the darkness past the hungry bear's mouth to grab this latch. They wait until it walks away satisfied before closing the window. Thankfully, it didn't try to get in this time, but bears have a long memory, and surely it will be back when it's hungry. Perhaps next time for them if no fish is available. Everyone knows the woods are a witch's favorite haunt. YouTuber The Ghost Hunter captured this witch on camera at around 11 p.m. First, they hear a terrible scream. They continue to hear these strange noises, and as they carry around a ring of fire, they hear more.
हाँ बिल्कुल इतना सोचते मत।
अच्छा चलो इधर आओ पीछे आओ।
The strange sounds continue.
आग खत्म होने वाली है हमारी, तो इसके लिए हमें और थोड़ा फास्ट जाना पड़ेगा। चल चल
But they don't see anything.
फिर तो से इधर उधर हमारा लाइट ही बुझ जा रहा है।
हमारे यहाँ पे लाइट कनेक्शन बंद हो जा रहा है ऑटोमेटिकली। हम गाइस कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा।
It is definitely not an animal.
फिर नहीं रुकने लायक है।
but remains out of sight.
उधर कहाँ जा रहा है?
While I'm not sure that's a witch, as the channel suggests, I do think they have something paranormal on their hands. A demon, a skinwalker, who knows? All I know is I wouldn't want to hear this in the middle of the woods at night. A YouTuber named Jimmy Maya is in the middle of a windswept field when he finds the absolute last thing you'd ever want to discover while metal detecting.
Okay, well, next target is a bomb. I could scratch that one off the bucket list. Wow, that thing is heavy.
Jimmy does not seem afraid to handle the heavy object, which makes me think that maybe this was a dud. He says that there was once an active base near this location. Jimmy observes a random string of characters on the side of the object. If anyone can use this information to identify what kind of device this was, then I would really like to know. Maybe together we can figure out how much actual danger Jimmy Maya was in at the time. If you're going caving, do it at the right time of day. Posted to TikTok by Andrew Smith. This caver found out the hard way that underwater caves have a high tide. As the cave fills with water around him, he has nowhere to go. The water comes rushing at the staircase. As the cave continues to fill dramatically, we can assume these cavers made it out alive enough to post this video, but most in the comments say they're goners just watching this. I seriously hope everyone was alright. This video was supposedly caught on a home resident security system. All of the rooms look normal until this possessed stuffed animal suddenly springs to life. I thought I could see a string at first, but it's clearly a cord that's plugged into the wall. On the other hand, this doesn't really look like actual CCTV footage at all, so maybe it's just a prank. Ruptured asphalt, a volcano of water, mud flooding an entire street. That's what happened in Ukraine's capital of Kiev in May of 2017, published by KVN. This incident occurred due to a 2-meter wide pipe breaking while work was being done on a water canal. The footage shows the very moment the volcano breaks through the asphalt, toppling over garbage cans and gently nudging the cars in its path out of the way. Another camera angle captures just how high the mud reached. According to reports, the mud slushy hit all the way up to the 7th floor of a building. Miraculously, no one was harmed in the event, but some of these cars definitely needed a few runs through the car wash. Robert Reddick has been waiting 2 weeks for this day to come, but now the deep web box has finally arrived and he is incredibly nervous. He contemplates not opening the box at all at first. Then Robert calls over some friends and the three of them dive in. The first thing they notice is a weird stain on the inside of the box, followed by an impossibly pungent smell that nearly bowls them over. They put on some gloves and keep going. Tucked beneath some bubble wrap are 2 handwritten letters that say "I'm sorry" repeatedly. A third letter says a single word, Shinigami, which I looked up the meaning of. This is the name for ancient supernatural creatures who were thought to shepherd humans to the afterlife in Japan mythology. There's a lot of weird stuff left to pick through, like a fishbowl that's filled with a bunch of thumbtacks and a single red lighter. There's also a 4th note waiting inside.
It is now your turn. Bury, don't burn. It is now you who is cursed. They wish you the worst. And then another "I'm sorry" now.
What are they talking about here? Boys.
I'm skipping past some items here, but eventually they come across a blank letter at the bottom of the box with a rather creepy hidden message.
Stop well, you can. It says stop while you can.
Stop while you can.
They do not heed the warning and eventually happen upon a large plastic bag with something decomposing inside. It's hard to say whether these are just props or a true deep web mystery waiting to be unraveled. I think the 3 friends appear very creeped out by the end of the video, so it's probably real. But I'd like to know what you think of their reactions. Posted to the r/chills narrator subreddit, Redditor The Cheese is Moist writes, "If I'm tripping, then don't come at me in the comments, but is that star changing colors?" In the video, he zooms in on a star in the distance. The closer the zoom, the more clear it is that the star is rapidly changing colors. I've never seen a star ever do this before. Is it a satellite? Or is there something more nefarious at play here? This place needs signs saying "Do not enter." Published in May of 2022, Hassan Barbar is searching through an abandoned building when he sees this dark figure through a window. It looks like a jinn. The figure quickly moves out of view. And when Hassan enters the room, he is gone. Hassan locks himself inside the now empty room, but it seems like something is still in the room with him. He spies something written on the wall. Is it a message from the jinn? He turns to look in this cupboard again, and the lights are again messed with, and that's not the only havoc in the room. As he looks around, he turns back to the overhanging lights, and suddenly there's a bucket covering one of them.
طب وين قريش بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات.
When he reaches up to touch the light, it's almost like he's electrocuted. Something then obscures his camera. It's the bucket from the light. What is happening here? Hassan is not sure, but I suspect it's the jinn's handiwork. This rare footage of a sewer monster is brief but frightening. The video seems to capture a glimpse of something large with a tail launching around the underground. The black and white adds to the creepiness of the footage, when suddenly something the size of a kangaroo moves swiftly past and out of sight. Although not quite as unsettling in movement as a creepy critter might be, whatever this strange being is, it looks completely out of place in the sewage system. Any idea what this strange creature could be? December 12th, 2020, Lisa feels somebody walk past in her kitchen. She absentmindedly smooths over her hair and doesn't think about how weird it was until later. The security camera shows a long strand of her hair move by itself and some lights fly overhead. The ceiling fan was not on and doesn't look like a fan anyway. It looks like someone grabs it and lets go. She says and thinks it was a ghost because it felt like a person was right there. Lisa knows who it must be, the shadow person she caught on camera 2 weeks prior. November 29th, she kept getting motion detection warnings on her phone. The video looks like a person outside of her house, except she says nobody was caught on outside cameras. Normally I would say, yeah, right at this story, except look how the shadow exits. It just up and floats away. That's not normal to them or me. January 8th, 2021, the shadow figure moves into the garage. It's not somebody's shadow from outside. 4 seconds is when you can see this shadow figure has 2 eyes. I'll circle them. What do you think? All I know is that's not what I'd want to see on my phone after a motion alert. By January 17th of the following year, the shadow person had progressed to haunting objects. Maybe that was gravity, but they think it looks more like a ghost moved it. Anyway, those are some of the scarier videos on their channel to date. Something tells me more weird things will happen as the paranormal activity continues to manifest itself deeper inside the home, which I think is clearly haunted. Here's a video that shows how Randonautica can be scary without even trying. A YouTuber named Nolan goes randonauting with his friends in search of the color orange. The app takes them to 2 orange cones, no problem.
You see that? Cones, orange cones. No way.
They are weirded out but not entirely convinced, so they decide to go randonauting for something more obscure that would be creepier to find, like the number 4.
So we're doing a number?
Yeah, okay. So
4.
Not only do they find the number 4 prominently etched into a concrete handrail, but get this. The location that's given to them to find the number 4.
It's 4 minutes away.
is exactly 4 minutes away. Now they are getting creeped out and concentrate on a color that's hard to find in the countryside at night. The color blue. Not only does Randonautica take them to a pack of blue gum, when they go back to their car, they find out they were parked by an empty energy drink with blue lettering this whole time. Randonautica can sure be random, but then again it's eerily spot on. Published to YouTube in January of 2021, Chelsea Luna writes, "This is my first time trying Randonautica and I was so excited to have my friends Omar from Omar Gosh TV, James from The Fam, and Carlos from Carlos The Fam joining me on this adventure." And just like that, the adventure begins. They're driving along when something hits the back of their car.
What was that? What was that? Bro, there's something just hit the back of the car.
It sounds like a rock or a pebble. They stop to see if something is back there, but they come up short. In the distance, something is heard. It sounds like coyotes or something.
You want a coyote?
Stop.
Whatever it is scares the group, and they hurry to get in the car and lock the doors. Later, as they're driving by a bunch of tires, a strange growl is heard.
Monster.
What is that?
What? No. You heard something?
It sounded like a growl.
Yeah, it sounded like a growl.
They continue on. A strange sound effect that the crew missed is heard in the background. It almost sounds like a disembodied voice is screaming, and it says, "You."
Bro, you didn't say it at the last look.
At one point, they're taken to the statue of an angel defeating a demon. Carlos says he was thinking about an angel, so this is a bit freaky that the app drew them here. Does this creepy adventure make you want to never use Randonautica again? Because that's definitely the case for me. Houses can make funny house noises, but that doesn't seem to be the case with this video. Posted to the Ghosts subreddit by Ramasaurez, the Redditor explains that he woke up to loud footsteps in the hallway and the sound of something in the attic being dragged. He says the attic is not used for storage, but has a small crawl space. He was home alone when this happened. In the clip, you can faintly hear footsteps pounding and then the dragging noise as Ramasaurez lies still and silent. In the comments, Redditor Dejness suggests to go check it out, noting that people have had issues with squatters in the past. Even though the chances are slim, there's a definite possibility. As Dejness advises, look for any sign of someone's been living there, missing food, stuff misplaced, food wrappers, and if you do end up believing someone is in your house, maybe try installing a security camera. Some Redditors add that having something to protect themselves with nearby would be smart. Others advise to just record the sound and call the authorities instead of investigating himself, as who knows what the stranger would do. In another vein, some think it would be animals making nests up there. But the Redditor says the attic was completely sealed. The potential for the paranormal is on other Redditors' radar, including the OPs. He states that a couple of his family members had paranormal experiences inside the home, although he doesn't elaborate on what those experiences were. Then again, maybe it's just someone who had no other place to go. This video is called Old Man Tries to Lure Me. The person in question might just be bored and lonely, or they might have some really bad intentions. Watch what happens and give me your take. A YouTuber named Soft Flop is riding his bike to work when he passes a man who is sitting at the edge of his lawn. The two greet each other like normal, but then the man eagerly adds that he was just lighting fireworks. This video was taken in July, so I can understand why he'd be doing that, but listen to his voice and tell me if you think he is being over-friendly.
What's up, bud? I was lighting fireworks, huh? You were?
Sitting out here alone is kind of odd. If you saw somebody randomly using this setup, would you think the owner is out of their mind or just down on their luck? I'm thinking Softflop might have felt a little sorry for him because they do stop and talk. After a while though, the man invites him to go even deeper onto his property to light more fireworks. I guess he could just be feeling patriotic on the 4th of July, but do you think he sounds suspicious here?
I'll go grab some fireworks if you want to stay.
Softflop decides he is fine where he is, and that's when the man starts to touch his bike and offers to fix something wrong with it. Maybe he's just being a nice guy, or maybe he is trying to gauge how Softflop reacts to him touching his stuff.
Get this out for you a little bit.
No, I'm good.
By now he is standing closer than ever, so Softflop gets out of there with a fist pound. Which scenario is the truth? A socially awkward loner trying to meet new people, or someone trying to do harm? Thank you so much for getting me to 50,000 subscribers here on my Clips channel. If you want to support, please press that subscribe button. Let's get to 60,000 subscribers next. Thank you.